I'm Alex Mac, part of the Call to Action crew, and you're here with this week's episode of Schmoebates, where we argue and debate to the death. And I have someone that's amazing here with me today to help me co-host and judge and moderate, or whatever you want to call it. Andrew, what's up, my man?
Not much. Been watching the show. I'm loving the format. And kept asking in chats and stuff like, when are you gonna get me on? When you get me on? I'm like, oh, we'll be a judge first, and maybe one day we'll get my wife in here and we'll debate head to head.
We'll
but
see what we can do. We
right
definitely
now,
love couples on here for sure. Not to mention Beyond Schmoedown is like amazing.
Yes, thank you,
So,
thank you.
Absolutely. Can't wait to have it for sure. All right. So we have three pretty huge questions. We're going to have them debate, but just want to let you know in the format for today. So how we go about a Schmoebate is that we start with an opening statement, an open debate, as well as closing statement. The opening statement is you have 60 seconds to make your statement regarding whatever it is you're going to argue. Open debate, where they're going to be verbally fighting each other to the death. We're going to try to not strangle each other, but no guarantees here. And then a closing statement as well for 60 seconds. All right, but we have some amazing competitors here today that we're going to watch. Let's see, MN. What's up, Lindsey and Larry?
Hey, how you doing?
I can't wait. I'm so excited to have you guys here today. It's going to be so much fun.
We have been waiting for this all day.
Yeah, well, you guys just became generals not too long ago. So, and, you just kind of joined in the chats not a little bit ago. So it's been pretty fun, chatting away for sure. Are you guys nervous for today's match?
Oh, definitely.
I'm just worried to see if
Lindsey, but it's all on you.
Like, we just got married, and I'm worried.
Like a hot minute, for sure. Like, not even a slight exaggeration.
This might be it.
Well, Andrew, I mean, like, you've been married for quite some time. You got a little one as well, obviously.
Yeah, we just celebrated 6 years of marriage, 13 altogether. Yeah.
So do you have any being part of like a podcast where you guys, you record and do a lot of interaction together as like a huge Schmoedown couple, obviously? Do you guys have any advice for this couple that's going to be arguing with them?
Don't sweat the small things. I mean, we agree on a lot of stuff, but we disagree on some stuff, especially Schmoedown and movies and stuff. But that's why that's why we're together. Opposites attract, they always say. But don't sweat the small things. Yeah, at the end of the day, it is a show. It's a sport. Whatever.
So don't be mad at me.
Let's try not to take things personally. And if you guys go to bed on opposite sides where you don't want to face each other, don't be surprised, but totally
I've come to terms with all things.
Okay. All right. So again, we're going to be starting with our opening statement. And Lindsey, as we discussed earlier, you're going to be starting with your opening statement at 60 seconds. And Andrew, will you do the honor of saying the first question?
First question, what is the best entrance of all time?
And obviously it's this man right here, but still. Right, you got
I got a couple more in the tank though, but
Very good.
You got 1 minute, Lindsey, starting right now.
All right. Well, me being a huge Rachel Cushing fan, of course I had to choose her. And I chose her Galadriel entrance because that to me got me so interested in the entrances in the Schmoedown. You can really tell that she put her heart and soul into all of her entrances, and
30 seconds.
I was just wowed by her performance. Her outfit was on point. Her hair was blowing in the wind. Like, she had a whole lightning storm in there. Like, that's crazy.
15 seconds.
And she completely changed the entrance game. And now everyone wants to have dope entrances just like her. So
3, 2. Okay, you're good to go then. Perfect. All right. So great choice. Galadriel is definitely a fan favorite for sure. And what about you, Larry? What's your favorite? Best entrance of all time?
Okay, so I respect the Rachel Cushing entrance. Cool, great. Anyway, when you think of an entrance, everyone knows there's one that just stands above all the rest. And that was Andrew Ghai in the free-for-all, where he came out to the Jaws theme and was flipping everyone off in the stands. The anticipation that was building up when we were even at home watching it, we were like, oh man, Dan Merle's about to come out. Dan Merle's about to come out and shut the whole thing down.
30 seconds.
Just when he comes out, boom, F you, F you, F you, F you. Everyone was pissed. And yet everyone was so excited. There hasn't been another entrance that just stunned, that just fucking blew everyone away. Nowhere, like, as much as I love anyone else in the Schmoedown, no one comes close. That one just stands above the rest. It was such an easy decision. I'm surprised she didn't pick it. Andrew Ghai.
And done. Fantastic. All right. Well, before we go to the open debate itself, Andrew, do you have a favorite one? Favorite entrance?
I mean, I'm partial to myself. I'm surprised nobody picked the Roca Sick match. And this is an interesting category to kind of debate because it's what do you like? Do you like the ones like my entrances, the Bibiani entrances, or do you like the Andrew Ghai type of entrances where it's just all attitude? So it's hard to argue the Ghai one. So yeah, I mean, everybody has their own different opinions on entrances. So I'm surprised nobody picked me though.
Okay, shots fired, guys, but do better. You really got to impress this guy, right, Heather? All right, so you have 4 minutes to open debate, and let's try to not choke each other, but no guarantees. All right, you guys got 4 minutes. I'll let you know when you have 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 15 seconds remaining, etc. And go ahead, starting now.
Go ahead.
What?
You go first.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that her entrance opened doors for everybody else's entrances so far. So there's that. Yours didn't have any effects. Like, I get it, guys, great, cool attitude, but there was nothing. There was no.
Okay. First of all, why do you need effects? Okay, everyone loves the practicality element sometimes. Okay, why do you need CGI when you can lay it down straight up? You don't need any of that stuff when it comes to Andrew Ghai and that entrance.
Well, no, because it makes it beautiful and catches people's attention.
Talking about catches people's attention, who was not anticipating Dan Merle to come in? He was gone for a long time. No one see him on camera. The last time, he retired when he lost that match against Christian. You hear the Jaws thing. What are you waiting for? The GOAT's on the way. Okay, so you want to talk about catch people's attention? How do you catch more attention than that kind of entrance? Yes, we all like the Rachel Cush. Yeah, sure, she did the little thing, but
she was beautiful. She was a goddess.
I'm not going to say that she wasn't a goddess, but Andrew Ghai was a god amongst men. Okay, that thing was just glorious to watch. To see the disappointment go across everyone's face when they cut any kind of promo in regards to the movie trivia Schmoedown, they throw the Andrew Ghai thing in there. You want to talk about setting the tone? He set the tone for not only the rest of that season, but he even brought Dan Merle out of retirement. He brought him back. Our current singles champion, he had to bring out of retirement and then beat him for the biggest upset.
Well, yeah, but Rachel Cushing actually harnessed this power in her to actually come out and be great and become a lightning storm. And what did Ghai do? Just talk his mouth?
Ghai brought Dan Merle out of retirement.
2 minutes?
Sorry?
Oh, 2 minutes.
Oh, he brought Dan Merle out of retirement, which was the biggest thing.
Which probably would have happened without him.
If he brought, without that Dan Merle come out of retirement, you would have missed out on the greatest live event moment of all time, which was the revealing of the Horsemen at the live event. So because Andrew Ghai reeled Dan Merle out, you got the biggest moment to ever happen, possibly in the Schmoedown. And then you talk about following up with that with the greatest upset, which was even debated on Schmoebates a few weeks ago. The greatest upset, which was Andrew Ghai defeating Dan Merle in that match. So you want to talk about what did it do? There was long-lasting effects that came out of that entrance with Ghai. What can you tell me about the Rachel Cushing thing? More people wanted to dress up?
Yes, and get more involved because Bibiani's entrances are amazing and very well thought through. Without her stepping in, you don't even know where.
See, everyone is acting. Everyone is trying to act the part. People, they want to act the part. Andrew Ghai was living the part. Okay, like there was no acting involved with that. Okay, he came out there, that was just him. That was raw, unfiltered, attitude era WWE style performance. Whereas you're talking about just like, oh, let's just throw some CGI out there. Okay, even when you talk about CGI,
she owned it.
Even when you talk about
became that person.
But with CGI entrances, that's not even the best one. The best CGI entrance is from Andrew Dimilanta.
Yes,
he had the best CGI entrance. So if you want to talk about CGI entrances, you should have picked the best one if you were talking about the greatest entrance.
30 seconds.
The first one. So
listen, all I'm saying is when everyone heard the Jaws thing, who was not waiting for Damon?
15 seconds.
Sat back in your chair waiting. No one else, no other entrance did that for you. And when he came out of the curtain and you saw that it was him, everyone was floored.
And done. You want to take a deep breath?
Say something myself.
You guys want to kiss and make up yet? Take a drink?
You're getting heated.
For sure. I mean, like, it's really Schmoebate if someone's at some point isn't getting like legit angry. All right. Well, Andrew, is there? We just had two very different approaches to this argument. Is there anything that you really kind of want to see them address in their closing statements?
Well, I kind of was surprised that we didn't bring up like reactors into the mix, because when you look at a lot of the promo stuff, you see like they cut in reactors and reactors. And I think one of my favorite ones from a young kid, so excited to see Dan Morrell, and he gets this big, huge wave of disappointment. He's like, "Oh, it's Andrew Ghai." What? And I was also curious to see like your the stance on like when Rachel, she's a really strong introvert. To do something like this is so out of character for her. So, and it's a big deal for her. So I would like to see more push with that, and for Rachel's argument, because not to still think somebody in my eyes is clearly in the lead right now. But you know, they just get more of I know I'm a big behind the scenes type of person, so bring more of the behind the scenes aspect to it, because you know, with entrances like Rachel's, to be honest, and mine, a lot of work behind the scenes goes into them. So bring more. I'd like to see more of that brought into the arguments.
Absolutely. At the end of the day, I mean, Rachel, she put on a costume and had these really awesome effects, and she recited a monologue. I mean, Ghai came out and screamed at the audience. Now that's completely, it's neither here or there about which one's harder. That's, you know, I'm sure for Rachel, the screaming would be a million times harder. And for Ghai, who's an actor, the monologue would be a million times easier, maybe. Who knows? Or harder, I mean. So yeah, we had different approaches. Now we do have our closing statements, and yeah, definitely, if you can touch base on, you know, some of the reactions, you know, people had in general. Reactors.
That's a big, that's a big part about an entrance, is the reaction that everybody has to the entrance.
Absolutely. Okay. Okay. All right. But you, Larry, in particular, Larry straight pandering. I love it.
Always.
All right. Awesome. Okay. Let's go ahead and go into our closing statements. Lindsey, please go ahead and start with your closing statement, starting right now.
Okay. Well, if you want to talk about reactions, my reaction to her coming out, because it's definitely not something that she has done in the past. I am an introvert as well, so it really brought me out of my shell for some moments. But if I was on the Schmoedown, it would probably take me a couple times to actually come out in this grand entrance. I thought she did amazing. I think that she should have credit for putting this whole thing together and actually stepping outside of her comfort zone and making something different about the Schmoedown that other people have embraced and used in the past.
Yeah, you're totally right. Your personal how you can do it. If you're not uncomfortable in front of the camera, it's very, very hard to fake or to do something like that. Absolutely, for sure. And over to you, with someone that has absolutely no issue being on the camera, picking Ghai, obviously, you also have 1 minute.
Okay, so when it comes to reactions, if there was one thing that I remember in that time when I was perusing the internet and I was trying to see like, oh man, did anyone feel the same way that I did? Was the first time that I see the multi-reaction videos where people put together all different kind of reactions from all different kind of reactors together for that one singular moment when Andrew Ghai came through the curtain. Okay, no, that did not happen with Rachel Cushion. That happened with Andrew Ghai. Everyone wanted to
30
see.
seconds.
You had 50 reactors all on one video, and you could see them all react in that moment and see how everyone was taking it back. No brainer. Okay, I literally just pulled up the free for all video from 2018, and you can see the time code where people say, "Hey, click here for the Andrew Ghai entrance." Like that's a thing. People time stamped it. They want to see that happen. People know that free for all mainly for the fact that you get the XX5XX, and then you get the Andrew Ghai thing. Like, so you want to talk about like solidifying moments. He did that. Andrew Ghai for the win. Rachel Cushing, great. We all love her to death.
All right. 5 seconds.
Sometimes it doesn't take too much effort whenever you just got to like that. Andrew Ghai.
I'm done.
Boom.
Sorry, I didn't give you that notice at 15 seconds. I apologize. I was kind of actively listening. I apologize. All right. So, okay. Andrew, as you know, neither one of us are judging, or we are kind of judging, but we're not determining the winners here. But what were some of the big takeaways from these arguments?
I mean, just the pure fact that everybody, automatically goes to the Andrew Ghai entrance. I mean, it's the de facto best entrance of the year until somebody else can knock him off of that horse. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, I'm partial to the ones, the entrances of the Bibianis and the Rachels of putting effort into your entrance and rather than just walking out. But I can't argue that even I was affected by that entrance because watching the free for all, I'm like, oh man, they're bringing Merle back, and him coming out is like one of the best things ever in the Schmoedown. So and to see there's no visual effects in this, every entrance has some sort of visual effect to it with the lights. Really,
oh my god,
that's a visual effect if you can say that. So
that's arguable.
That's arguable, but yeah, that's the biggest takeaway from this first round. So
yeah, as an Action Army member, obviously I'm very biased. However, Lindsey, you really kind of brought some things to my attention I never really thought about, how it could mean Rachel putting on this awesome kick-ass performance, being someone that's not so comfortable being in front of the camera, to do this and really kind of go outside her comfort zone and put this much active effort into an entrance. It definitely can inspire a lot of people to not only up their entrance game, but also get really a lot of reactors and just a lot more people excited to be able to participate in this community. So again, very different.
And people like Rachel did absolutely have an impact. I mean, like, if we're gonna do entrances like this, I want to do something like that too, and put all my efforts into that. So Rachel is, so Rachel is definitely somebody that influences me not only in my gameplay, but also for entrances. Like, people are doing stuff like this. I want to take part and show that side of me.
Bibs wouldn't be Bibs today if it wasn't for Rachel's entrance.
Exactly.
All right, fantastic. Now, you guys can vote right now if you've already kind of made up your mind regarding this first debate, or you can vote towards the end. This is where you vote, at our Facebook page at Call to Action Pod. So please do that when you get the chance. And we're going to go ahead and jump to our second question. Andrew, please.
Alrighty. What major franchise should have its own league? Example, the Star Wars League. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of tailoring the questions to your guest host.
Well, I mean, you're a future Star Wars champion. Cannot argue that. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. But Okay, so now we're going to go and move on to you, Larry. What did you pick?
Okay, so when you present the question, it took me 20 seconds to answer. It was a no-brainer. When everyone talks about, okay, what's the greatest franchise possibly out there right now, killing the game, it's the MCU. With 22, 23 films coming out, and it's still continuing to make waves. People are still watching these things. They're still continuing to set the trend. What better league is there to form other than with the MCU? Like, it's one of the staples in the inner geekdom division right now, just like how Star
30
Wars
seconds.
is in the inner geekdom division, and it has its own league that blossomed out of it. The MCU is continually making the waves. Why not kind of go there with that route? You don't have to worry about the lack of movies. You don't have to worry about the lack of trivia questions to kind of build up from it.
15 seconds.
It just makes all the sense in the world to kind of build a league from something that's so robust and in the MCU. So I chose that.
All right. Okay. So MCU. Oh, bugger. Ah, snarf. Snarf. Okay. MCU. That's a big one. A lot of movies. Absolutely. Can't, it's already very popular. Everyone knows MCU. All right. And go over to you, Lindsay. What did you choose?
All right. Well, I chose Harry Potter because there's such a big following, and this could bring so many people who don't know about the Schmoedown into the Schmoedown. And they even made a parody musical about it. So come on.
No.
Just think about it. The entrances would be so freaking dope. Come on. You got to believe it. And who wouldn't want the championship match to be at the Wizarding
30
World?
seconds.
And you can be there and just watch the match while eating chocolate frogs. Come on. Who doesn't want that?
Ooh.
Each player can choose a house, and you can make the championship the World Cup. I mean, the house cup. Yeah.
Okay, you're yielding the rest of your time. Whammy. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. When I heard these options, I thought I had my mind set who's gonna win. But these are some solid arguments and some great visualization. Andrew, what are your thoughts?
These are the two, when I saw this question pulled up, these are the two I automatically went to. It's like MCU, Harry Potter. I mean, it's like both have huge, like you have the movies behind them, you have the lore behind it, you have the fan base behind it. So, you know, all of you touched on it so well. And like usually when you look at these, especially the Star Wars division, is like, how can you bring people into the Schmoedown? And that was a great argument that I liked, because that's really the root of it. Like the Star Wars division doesn't exist without the fan base and getting that fan base into the Schmoedown. So that was a great argument in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are some arguments that you're definitely going to have to debate, essentially. Larry, let's see it happen. Okay, well, all right. Again, if you definitely check online and vote on our Facebook page, but go ahead and hold out for these arguments for this second question. All right. You guys got 4 minutes to make your arguments starting right now.
Okay, so Harry Potter. Yep. Who cares? We already had this fired. Okay, Harry Potter to me always has just been a complete and total ripoff of just Star Wars. Okay, you got 3 main characters, pretty much with magical things happening like the Force. Yeah, okay, cool.
Doesn't like
whoop-de-doo. Okay, it's dying off. Okay, the last few movies have been absolutely garbage. The Fantastic Beasts movies, who cares? But every single MCU movie that comes out, every single one people pay attention to. Nonstop, it's relentless, and everyone pays attention to every single thing. The greatest, most profitable movie of all time is an MCU movie. Okay, so you want to talk about bringing people in? Why? You know, it already makes sense that if everyone saw this one particular movie, it's going to bring in viewers. MCU clearly has an advantage over Harry Potter. You're going to run out of questions at some point out of the 7 movies, the 8 movies that they made with Harry Potter. You got 35,000 movies with the MCU. You'll never run out of questions.
Well, yeah, but I mean, each player can choose a house, and you gain points towards the house cup, which would be really fun.
That's an awesome idea.
And
awesome idea.
I know, right?
I don't want to play this game so bad.
But it's just the fantasy of it. Yours is just like, yeah, cool. You're going to see superheroes. Fun. Awesome. But here you actually have friends who are in the same house as you, and you can dress up and just be a part of the world and just have fun.
What are you talking
instead
about?
of being stressful.
You talking about dress up? I would love to show up in a Schmoedown match, straight up Wakanda Forever style, wearing that Black Panther outfit. Okay, everyone would love to
but
do
you're
that.
not him.
I want to be him. That's the whole point.
I know.
Okay,
But you can't be him.
that's the whole
But
point.
you can be in a house.
But
You can be your own in the house, and you can gain points for your team, or you can just tell your friends about it and.
you have to, but when you start thinking about making this own league, you have to start thinking about like, okay, when someone's going to carry around that belt, they got to have a lot of pride in that kind of stuff. But like when you're sitting developing these questions, you got to think about, okay, how deep can we get to? On what kind of level can we have a certain level of play? Like, yeah, I understand that Harry Potter has a certain amount of following, but that following has died down. It's not continuing on the same trend as the MCU is right now. The MCU is getting stronger and stronger by the year and by the phase. People cannot wait in anticipation for what's going to happen next. You already got 3 phases of movies that people have been watching. Everyone's been watching. Harry Potter fans, Star Wars fans, doesn't matter. Everyone has watched those MCU movies. Not many people like watch Harry Potter, just like other kinds of things. MCU is the way to go about it. It is the next big thing. So it only makes sense. Like it's just a logical thing to go with the popular thing in this manner, and that is the MCU.
Okay, you guys got another about say 40 seconds. Or do you guys feel comfortable? You guys good?
I'm going to give the rest of the time to my wife here.
Smart man. Okay. Let's say, Lindsay, who would you love to see competing in the Wizarding World franchise, like league specifically? Are there any competitors kind of jump out of you that would be strong in this league?
Definitely. There would be a few.
Emma5.
Well, of course, Emma5.
Emma5 would be like, I would run that league. Hello.
Let's go. You don't have to tell me twice. She's already in.
She is the league.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I personally, I know I would be mega excited. I would up my Patreon tier right now if I could get myself an audition for the Wizarding World potential league. Andrew, I know you're someone that competes in Star Wars and having to know all these movies front and back. How would you feel about these other franchise leagues?
I mean, it is to argue that, MCU, more films, potential for more questions. But I would argue, Star Wars has a handful. And I've always said we have not scratched the surface with questions yet because the lore is so deep. And you see that with Harry Potter. Harry Potter has so much lore behind it. You can go, there are like, characters in the background like that obviously have names. I don't see that with the MCU. Like background extras are just that, they're extras. But then when you go deeper into like the Star Wars and Harry Potter's, you can see this character in the background is like, yep, he has a name, he has a history, he has a family, he belongs to this house. So I can see that's where the questions, you can go insanely deep with Harry Potter questions, I feel. And I haven't even seen all the movies. So that's something to be said. I mean, MCU would be, it's the hot hand right now. It's more popular. You could get more questions because of the plethora of movies we have. But again, how deep can you get through those questions? You can get insanely deep with something like Harry Potter.
Absolutely.
And I'm surprised nobody picked Lord of the Rings.
Honestly,
I think you that'd be that if they had a Lord of the Rings own league, that would be even harder to be competed in than Star Wars, I think, just because again that lore, backstory.
Yeah.
Because like half the books are just like, oh, they walk.
Honestly, yeah, I would honestly be scared. I used to be obsessed with reading the books when I was younger, and now even today, I try to read the entire series at least once every other year or something, even as an adult. But yeah, so I mean, there is having the understanding between, and I'm sure you've read, a lot of the books and everything, Andrew, from Star Wars, fandom and everything. Understanding the difference between the books and the movies can be easy to mess us up sometimes when you're overthinking.
And that's why I say it would be harder to compete in a Harry Potter division because you got to like flip your minds, like, no, that's the movie, that's the book. Maybe they brought something in from the book, or they switched something from the book, or so. It's just I think that would be insanely hard to compete in.
For
Because
sure.
that happens to me sometimes.
Yeah, it's like, oh,
studying.
I was like, wait,
It's like, wait, no, that's from the novel. That's not from the.
No.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Thrawn 2K5 says MCU is a commercial get. Harry Potter is a player's choice. So yeah, that's definitely, you know, an idea right there. Okay. Now, again, if you guys have, we're going to go into our final, our final one, but our closing statement regarding this one. Andrew, is there anything you really want them to potentially address in their closing statement?
Just again, I think a lot of why the Star Wars League is an official league, a part of the Schmoedown, is because of that fan base. I would like to hear more about what you think about the fan base, because these are two properties that have diehard fan bases, and the big reason why Star Wars is what it is because it's been around for so long, and that you know, people are willing to die on the hill for this property. So I would like to hear more arguments around that.
Yeah, not to mention they both had their own theme parks. So.
Yes, that is true too.
Just saying.
Still
well,
get to go.
I think we're getting a Marvel theme park here pretty soon, so it's not up right now, but 100% certain, based on a personal experience over at the Wizarding World over at Universal Studios, it was amazing. So that would be an awesome place to host a championship. All right, Larry, please address those questions that Andrew has brought up. You have 60 seconds to make your closing statement, starting right now.
Okay, so when I think about the fan base, I really think that the MCU, this is the advantage the MCU has over Harry Potter. It's, you can see that the trend that the MCU is making in the inclusivity of different types of groups. Like whenever they did the Black Panther movie, you saw brothers having cookouts in the middle of the movie theaters. They came out in hordes because they was like, oh man, we finally get represented. You're finally getting like like Shang-Chi, you know, so you had the Asians being
30 seconds.
Being represented there, you know, Captain Marvel doing this thing for the women demographic, even though Wonder Woman came out, but they're more inclusive in that kind of nature. So they're building smaller pockets of fans with
15 seconds
with trying to adhere to, like, okay, there's people out there that's underrepresented, and they're trying to get that representation out there. Whereas Harry Potter is just kind of more bland across the board. Like, I don't really see anyone that looks like me in there. So MCU.
And done. Fantastic. Okay, so you're really focused on the inclusivity aspect of MCU and what it's done for fans, for sure. And just saying, Wonder Woman's definitely not part of the MCU. Just wanted to drop that a little bit.
I was saying, like, for
example, I understand.
Yeah.
And I'm aware it's DCEU. I was just saying
you mixed up DC. No, obviously.
Oh, God.
How dare you?
I'm aware Wonder Woman's DC.
All right. Okay. So, Lindsay, you also have 1 minute to make your claims, and please address, you know, the specific fandoms, you know, and how people would react to potentially participating in this group. All right. 1 minute starting right now, Lindsay.
Well, start off, families love Harry Potter, so the fact that it will die out is a ridiculous statement, because even when I have children, I'll probably read the books to them, and that's a way that we can connect, and that park is always going to be there. So maybe when they grow up, they're going to be excited to want to go. So, but just for people to come together and watch the matches, and
30 seconds.
From either watching the movies or reading the books as a family, maybe this would intrigue them to maybe incorporate this into their family dinners, to have little Schmoedown parties. It's just a way to bring families together.
And you're yielding your final 5 seconds? Perfect. All right. Fantastic. Yeah. Whammy. Okay. So again, you can, while we have everything still in your fresh in your noggin, feel free to vote right now here on our Facebook page. But we're going to kind of give you guys a minute to do that. But Andrew, what do you think? Inclusivity.
Great arguments. Yeah, the inclusivity is definitely a thing that, you know, all the personalities in the Schmoedown are something that they're very passionate about. But that the fact that Lindsay brought in families and passing down the traditions and stuff, that's something that I think, you know, Harry Potter and Star Wars have both done so well, especially Star Wars, because like I was showing Star Wars by my parents. I hope to show Star Wars to my daughter when she gets old enough, and that's a great point to be, because that's what keeps a franchise alive, is passing it down, including your families, because in this household, we're going to be two things. We're going to be a Star Wars family, and we're going to be a Schmoedown family. So that's a great point that got brought up, I think.
I would love to have like an active debate with my future children about, I'm sorry, you're a Hufflepuff. I'm sorry, you're not eating at the table. You're going to be in a little cupboard under the stairs. Sorry. Wrong group. Okay. Or alternatively, I'm sorry, you identify with what character from the MCU? Oh, sweetie. We're going to have a conversation. Okay. Now, Darren Batten is just bringing to attention specifically, Harry Potter was inclusive before the MCU, and MCU didn't start getting quote unquote inclusive until later in their films, later in the
franchise. What was in Harry Potter?
But also, alternatively, Mike Deacon says, "Where are the cookouts for HP? The library?" So, fellow action general himself, Mike. So if you guys have anyone to yell at, you can feel free to yell at them. All right. So again, feel free to vote right now, or you can vote towards the end of we get done with the questions. Okay. So we're going to go into our third and final question.
Just so you know, the mango is really good. It's not bad.
I swear, if you want me to get one of those at the grocery store instead of White Claws, I'm going to be pissed. There will be riots in the Action Army chats. No.
Good. It's good.
Okay.
It's good,
I'm sorry in advance for Houston because he's going to buy a ton.
It's so good. I cannot
wait. All right. So we have our third and final question. And I know this in particular, this question is one that got a few people were like, hey, you better win this one. So no pressure to either one of you. All right. And Andrew, please do the honors.
All right, so third and final question. If you had to go to Disneyland with one Schmoedown personality, who would be the best theme park partner?
Absolutely. You can only go with one person to Disneyland. Okay, so now we have to flip the coin. And before, when we were chatting earlier, we were talking about how Lindsay, you're like a Ghai girl, because obviously, who isn't? And Larry is Team Trader. So, right here.
Hashtag Finstock Exchange. I'm here for it.
I can't even look at you right now,
Is this
Larry.
the official thing with Finstock Exchange? I'm not sure.
We're out there. We're doing
you know what, Andrew, you're a guest here, so you're fine. But Larry, I expect more from you.
He was on the podcast last week. It was fine.
Trader. Okay. I'm going to go and flip. Yeah, fuck. Sorry. Nope.
Stop. Peyton.
I'm not a flipper. I'm going to do it again. It is Bateman. Ooh. All right. Bateman, so that was your side, Larry. Please tell me, do you want to go first or second for your opening statement and closing statement?
I will let my wife decide if she wants to go first or second.
No.
That's my decision. And I stand by
Always defer.
That's definitely a strategy. Okay. Then
whatever you want.
Ladies first.
Okay.
All right. Who did you choose?
I chose Roxy because, of course, why not? She's amazing. Who doesn't want to be at Disneyland with the manager of the year? So yeah. She really cares for her team and for other people, and she knows how to communicate. And we would definitely go get chicken and beer. And I know she has a season pass, had in the past, and loves rides. I love rides. He doesn't like rides. So we would have so much fun going on everything. And especially on Splash Mountain, we can shout vagina. So.
15 seconds to yield your final 15 seconds. Okay, so what I heard was chicken, beer, rides. I'm all excited. All right, definitely convinced me. All right, Larry, who did you choose?
Easy day. So when it came to picking who I wanted to go with, I decided to go with, you said manager of the year. I decided to go with the 3 times manager of the year with Bobby Gucci Finstock. Okay. Here's why I chose Finstock. You want to go. The reason why I go to the amusement park is to have a good time. There's not there's not one story with that Finstock is in that's not legendary, and you want to be around that kind of person. You're talking about season passes, he'll get you in there without any kind of passes. You want to get to the front of the line, he'll get his way to the front of the line. You know that's what you're going to get with Bobby Gucci. He just has the suave. He has the swagger. You can cut everyone in line with Gucci, with Tom Dagnino. He can get you wherever you want to go. You want to ride all the rides, he can make sure that happens. He can possibly shut down the entire theme park for you upon arrival, just so it's you two hanging out. And you talk about chicken and beer, he could probably make the chicken and the beer somewhere. He has a buddy that does it. So it was an easy decision. 3 times man of the year, Gucci.
All right. Schnikes. Sorry, my phone weirded out on me. All right, fantastic. So that wraps up our opening statements. Okay, so potential park shutdown in your honor, and you want in some of these weird, quote unquote, epic stories. Andrew, you're in the Finstock Exchange.
I mean, Bobby Gucci can't argue. He has some outlandish stories. I've met him several times, obviously, but I'm surprised nobody went with Rachel Silvestrini.
I'm like, honestly, that's like was gonna be like my pick, and I'm like, obviously, and she could show you around the entire place. And
that was my de facto. I was like, okay, you think Disney Schmoedown? Rachel Silvestrini, that was my immediate guess. But these are some interesting picks. I mean, Roxy would be a good time at the park. Dagnito would be interesting to hit the park. I'm not sure how much fun you'd have with him, but I think it would be an awesome time. You'd have different times,
very different takes,
very vast different experiences with these two. So
for sure,
yeah.
All I'm hearing are these are wrong choices, but Andrew, you and I think alike by choosing Rachel Silvestrini because she is all that in a bag of chips. All right, so in that case, Lindsey, go ahead. It's like Lindsey and Larry, please make your open debates. You guys got 4 minutes starting right now.
All right, so here's what I was looking at. You go to the theme park, you're walking around, you're trying to figure out what you want to do. And sometimes when you go,
is he going to wear a full size shirt or is he going to do the crop top thing? Because
wear what he wants to wear. The man can wear what he wants to. He's Gucci, right?
Shots fired.
He wants to do. The thing is when you go, it's a magical world that you're going to, and you gotta let the magic happen. Okay, you can't cut it off. You gotta let it. You just gotta let the awesomeness around you.
I don't think I would trust him around children.
That's why he shuts the park down.
There's a lot of children in the park.
Listen, every kid around there is going to look up to Bobby Gucci. Okay, they're going to want to know, wow, that man looks. I don't know who he is, but he's pretty fucking impressive. They're going to just see what's happening.
I don't know what Goodwill store he gets his clothes, but that's definitely not the one to be around.
But but you're talking about want to be around Roxy. Like sometimes she's like super negative, man. She doesn't know where she's going. She might get you lost in the park. So like being able to sit there circling around the same thing 3 times.
Pass.
So she knows
her way around.
Left, down, up, and right. You're gonna sit there looking at the same in this park for 45 minutes. Meanwhile,
I would still
Gucci
have a hell
is cutting
of a
me through the
time.
line. He's cutting me through the line. He's gonna go up to all the Disney princesses. You know what I'm saying? Get us the backstage passes. What's going on?
He's not even allowed near them. Are you kidding? No.
He has all the numbers on speed dial. I guarantee you that he does.
Oh,
okay.
No.
You want to go inside Magic Kingdom? He gets you inside Magic Kingdom. You want to go to Epcot? He gets you inside Epcot. Animal Kingdom? He gets you on the little caravan tours.
I wouldn't even trust him.
Listen, that man is all the way. For a damn good time. Did you know who you want to go with? There's no doubt about it. Okay. And like at the end of the day, whenever your day is done and the sun sets, that you just had a day at Disney with Gucci. The stories are endless. The book writes itself.
2 minutes.
Writes itself.
You would have a terrible time, and it would be boring.
How are you going to be boring? Name one Finstock story that's boring. Meanwhile,
I don't know any stories. So.
the legend. You're not paying
no legend.
Okay, so how you have a good time with Roxy? You haven't tell me how you have a good time with Roxy. She's not really doing anything so far. She's just like what? What's she doing?
She's going on all the rides
she's
that
getting
you
lost.
go.
She's getting you lost.
No, we're going on the rides, and I don't have to ride in a single lane.
Waiting in line. Have fun waiting in line. I'm skipping the line with Gucci.
We'll get fast passes. Who cares?
We're not paying for fast passes. We got to spend our money at the bar.
Well, that's your prerogative. We're going to have fun outside the park.
We'll
not
run through
go to a restaurant and just sit at the bar.
Imagine what it will be like to
You're
take
going to pay that
Gucci
much
in.
money to go into the theme park.
Think
and
about how much fun
it
it'll be to take Gucci to go get his wand for Harry Potter, like you just argued about. The wand will pick him. It'll be the one that flies out the box and goes.
1 minute.
That's not Disney, but okay, babes.
That's that Disney World. It's the same thing. You do it all. It's the same kind of stuff. It's right next to it. Bobby Gucci, man. He'll get you there. And if you know what, when he shows up and he wants it to happen, it'll show up. Regardless. Magic. Gucci. Bobby. You know you love it. You love to hate it. And then you hate to love it. This is what it is.
30 seconds.
I had more fun in this argument about it than you did with Roxy in this argument. I know I have a good time.
Oh my God.
That's how I know I have a good time.
Harry's coming to play. Oh man.
Just saying.
Oh God.
Just saying. I'm done. I got nothing else to say. Everyone knows it.
15 seconds.
Gucci bandana. What's up?
Oh God. Oh God.
You can sit with myself.
What just happened? Okay, we're gonna be going into our closing statements here in a hot minute. I just need a minute to let everything sit. Andrew, we have some opinions. Obviously, you were on the Finstock exchange, and I just want to know. I want to get a reaction from you on some of these things. Go to Disney World in the morning, and Gucci will and you'll wake up in the evening at Disney World with Finstock.
That's funny.
That's something that might happen. I mean, from my experiences with Tom, it's like, man, this guy got some stories, and I think that would be kind of accurate.
But also, alternatively, Paul reminds you guys, hey, to be fair, Roxy would also probably get them into Universal as well. So, ooh, little bonus right there. Yeah. Okay. So, So, Andrew, this is our final question. What do you need them to convince you of to 100% have you lean in their favor?
I just want to see what kind of day you guys are having at the park. Because, like, I see with Roxy, you're having a fun girls' day out, you know, going drinking wine, going on the rides, throwing up a little bit, then going back and drinking some more. With Gucci, I see more of like, you know, mostly at the bar, just talking and then thinking about walking around the parks. It's vastly different experiences I'm seeing here because,
if you're going to be just going over there and drinking some really good Disney themed cocktails or whatever it may be. I mean, you can go there to a bar around the corner from Disney World.
I would love to go to Galaxy's Edge and that cantina that they have there, go with Gucci and just sit and drink jet juice all day long. And that's the kind of day I see with Bobby. But I want to hear more about this ladies' day out with Roxy at Disney, and going on Space Mountain and Splash Mountain and all those mountains. And
any potential epic story that could emerge from a day with Bobby Gucci himself. All right. So
easy.
All right, Lindsey, you got 60 seconds to make your arguments and really have everyone get in your corner and back you up. You ready?
Yes.
Girl, you damn right you are. 1 minute starting now.
All right. Well, first we would start off, probably get some nice food because, a Mickey-shaped pretzel, who doesn't like that? We would definitely go on Splash Mountain, Space Mountain, but we would go to the Bud Lightyear one and we'll test our skills out. And I'd probably win, but maybe we'll go again and I'll let her win. A little fun there.
30 seconds.
Definitely we would see the princesses and different characters, but we would go to the zoo because I love animals and it would be just so fun looking at them and riding the train. And just like you said, get some drinks and have some fun and act like kids again. And no crop tops.
Done. Ideally, no one ever plans to, throw up at Disney World or Disneyland.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But things happen. They just happen. All right, Larry, you also got 1 minute on the clock starting right now.
You talk about Splash Mountain, Danger Mountain, Super Mountain. I don't know the name of the mountains, but I think Gucci will agree. If you want to move a mountain, you're going to need a pretty big shovel. Okay, now listen. I don't know what that means, but I'm sure he'll agree. Now, the thing is, whenever you go to Disney, where the lines are going to be long. A day with Dagnino means you're cutting all the lines. You want to go to Galaxy's Edge, he got you into the cockpit. The thing is, the thing will fly when you go in there with Dagnino. He's going to make sure that you get the first trip on the one that flies around. He's going to get you behind the scenes on everything. He has a hookup. He has a homie at every single place, every single bar. You walk into a bar, you're getting a drink. You go up to a ride, you're in first place. You know, you want to get your picture taken. Boom, he got your professional photographer right there on the spot. You know, whatever you want to make sure, what do you want to happen? Dagnino will make sure that it happens. Okay, he's the shovel. Okay, if the day is the mountain, he's the shovel, and he knows it. There's nothing wrong with it. Gucci Finstock Exchange podcast.
I'm done. Girls' Day Out versus surpassing all those damn lines to get into some of the best rides ever.
But you're not going to ride them, so
your time's up.
Okay, all right. So again, if you're watching this, please feel free to vote right now on our Facebook page, or kind of let it soak in for a minute, while we kind of make while they just kind of get that relief off their shoulders. You guys survived your first Schmoebate.
You made it.
You survived.
Did our marriage work? Are we good?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna lie, that was probably the most I don't want to say energetic, but you were legit no. This is the answer. I mean, what would you choose? Who would you choose? I mean, Andrew. I mean, obviously Rachel Silvestrina.
Yeah.
How do you think a day would be with Rachel?
Oh man, I see just her going in all the ins and outs of the park. It's no. Don't go to that one. Go to that one. Don't, no, that's garbage. Go here. I know you like Space Mountain, but this is where it's at. This is the kind of things. It's when the question got asked, in the chat that we were in, I was like, oh, Rachel, duh. So I think just that experience with Rachel, because I've met her several times. She was one of the first Schmoedown personalities that I officially met in person, and you immediately become automatic friends with her, and just I would love to spend time with her and just go to a park. And she strikes me as one person that loves Disney or Disney parks and knows the ins and outs of everything. So I would love to go to Disney with her, especially Galaxy's Edge.
Well, I can say the reason why we picked those two was she was like, okay, well, can I pick Roxy? I was like, oh, you want to pick a manager? If you pick a manager, I'll pick a manager. So that's kind of where we went with it. We just kind of keep it on even keel.
All right. Well, guys, I do want to give you a heads up. We are going to be waiting 5 minutes.
Sounds good. 5
minutes while we kind of wrap things up on our end. We're also going to be waiting for you guys to vote. So you guys have 5 minutes to vote starting right now. And I'm trying to figure out a way to have a timer up here so everyone can know. But you guys have 5 minutes to vote and make your opinions known. So hypothetically, if you catch this in a few days and you're like, I'm just going to watch a Schmoebate whenever, and you want to go back and vote for your favorite person who you think should win or whatever it might be, it won't fucking matter because you're not live. So do it right now and be cool. That's all I can say. Be awesome. Please do that. And give the page a like while you're there. Just saying. All right. Okay, so holy shnikes. What questions would you guys like to see debated on this show? Honestly, overall, Andrew, Larry.
Well, when we were looking at the questions, I think me and you talked about this earlier. When we were talking about the franchises, she wanted to do the Pixar thing. She wanted to talk about Pixar movies as a belt, and I really wanted to kind of argue that with the MCU versus the Pixar thing. But Pixar's not a franchise, so we had to come to grips with that. But
I know. I felt really bad when it was suggested. I'm like, I'm sorry, it's not technically a franchise.
It's not to be a franchise.
I'm sorry. I wish it was.
But I thought that would have been fun to argue against. Personally, I don't know. I mean, the questions that about the show is that the questions are just always so random. I could never predict what kind of questions you guys come up with, especially the third question you guys always come up with.
It's like an off-ball type of question, a little creative. Because I remember the one with Frankie was the band. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
that was a great question. I was like, I have no idea what I would
But
do.
like the dogs and the dog sitters or whatever it was, and that was pretty good.
The dog stepfathers or
Yeah,
something. The dog fathers.
yeah,
That's so ridiculous. Oh, and that's a reference to a match we had with Brandon Hanna and Frank Janish. Have you haven't seen that episode? It was awesome seeing them argue for painting the picture for us for best creating a Schmoedown themed like band. It was so great.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like who would you want to have like be your roommate? You know,
Awesome.
That's a great question.
For a year or something. Would be pretty cool. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to watch all the episodes yet, so I'm not sure all the questions you would have asked. Have you done like Strand on a Desert Island question?
No, we have not. Would you like to hear one?
Strand on a Desert Island or something. I don't know. Like one thing I always wanted to do was like when I first started getting into the thing, I always thought about and I saw this off of movie fights one time when they did drunk movie fights, and they every competitor had a signature.
Wait, you mean this is not drunken Schmoedown fights?
Oh,
well,
they each competitor on there had their own
a little too late over here for me to do that.
That's fair.
Hey man, I'm on the way.
Just under 2 minutes to vote, guys.
Each competitor on there had like their own specialty cocktail. So it was like, this like think of a name of a cocktail for a competitor or something, or I don't know.
I am honestly God waiting for a Schmoedown cocktail after show cocktail show where like some bartender or someone with a history of mixing drinks or something like that ends up like doing a reaction while making a cocktail. And it's like, yeah, I'm making this cocktail specifically for this event. It's made with this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Because this match I'm using this ingredient because this character is this way. And I'm using this whiskey because of this.
I really think that
I didn't mean that.
I can Napster.
I'm waiting for it. I wish I could mix drinks. I can't. It's laughable how bad I am. Well, what about you, Andrew?
I'm all right.
Makuga and Dewberry can do that shot.
Oh yeah.
What could have been?
What could have been?
Are there any questions in particular, Andrew or Lindsay, that you guys want to see answered? You would love to see argued?
Let's see. I think you've done the most underrated player. Am I wrong?
Has
that been a question?
So much underrated. We've done best upset match, best upset match, but we haven't done most underrated competitor before.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe most overrated player. Something to let see get a little heated in the Schmoedown. So
are you? It sounds like you're like looking for some beef, man.
I mean, I have my thoughts on that. But I'm not gonna if I ever compete in here, and that's the question. I mean, I'll let that.
Smart move.
Yeah. So
suddenly you get like 30 people messaging you, be like, "What the fuck?" Andrew, I thought you were cool, man. All right, but that is up for that is up for voting. I'm going to go ahead and start telling right now. In the meantime, do you want to know, Andrew, where can we find you and all the awesome stuff you're doing?
So you can find me on Twitter at Drew Dimilanta, Dimlanta, on YouTube just by going to videosbyandrew.com. Find Beyond the Schmoedown, my weekly Star Wars stream going rogue, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Tuesday. Might end up changing that because Rogue is streaming that time now. So look out for changes to that. You can see how that goes. And also on Patreon at patreon.com/Andrew and Nikki, Nicki. Come join the squadron. I'd like to take some of the people from the Action Army over to the squadron, have a friendly little rivalry between little fan bases.
All right, fantastic. Yeah, I love your show. You and Nikki. I mean, you guys kind of butt heads a little bit, but at the same time, it's fantastic. And it's I don't want to say, I feel like relatable is the wrong word, but at the same time, I can see both perspectives really well because I know Luke's and I, we definitely do our fair share of arguing when it comes to Schmoedown for sure. All right. And Lindsay, where can we find you? Everything you're doing.
I have a Twitter. It's at LoveLindsay. And I have an Instagram. That's white wonder _Linds, LANDS. So yeah.
All right. Yeah. I was like, it took me a minute to find you on Twitter. I'm not going to lie. But once I found you, I was like, look at that gorgeous face. My absolute favorite person in the world. All right. And last but definitely not least, what a weenie himself.
Yeah.
Barry. Where can we find you?
You can catch me hosting the Finstock Exchange podcast. We're actually moving our date from Saturdays to Sundays now. So the episodes every Sunday around 8 p.m. We have a few new things in store, especially a show hosted by this wonderful lady right here in the works.
Nice.
So catch out for that. And you can catch me at Instagram at They Call Me Luck, or at Twitter at The Panye West.
Mm-hmm. I initially thought it was like it was like a spell check thing, and then it occurred to me, I was like, oh, West.
Yeah, yep.
Took me a minute. It took me way too long to connect those dots. I'm not smart sometimes. Okay. All right. Well, I have the votes in for all of our questions, so we have a winner. And I'm not ready. All right. For the best entrance of all time, our winner is Larry with choosing Ghai with his Jaws theme entrance. So, well done. And for question number 2, what major franchise should have its own league? And the winner is Larry with choosing MCU for your selected franchise. So well done. You won your first Schmoebate. And the last, and certainly not least, the best question of all time, which really takes what Schmoedown personality would be the best person to go on a one-on-one trip to Disneyland with? Actually, was Roxy with Lindsey. So awesome. That arguably, honestly, to me, you won the entire match with that one. Not gonna lie. That's a real question.
I agree.
Not kidding. All right. Well, I mean, Larry, you're officially, technically, unbeaten when it comes to Schmoebates. Who would you love to go up against?
I would honestly like to. I think I want to go up against. I don't know, anyone. I mean, I'm not really worried about arguing against anyone, honestly.
He's very good.
The Hot Man. Hot Man. I'll take Hot Man on. He was
Hot Man calling. Yeah, I would the man himself.
I thought there was a lot of flaws in his arguments when he was debating.
No. Can I clip that? Can I clip that?
Yeah, I don't really care, man. I say what I say. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But no, that was a good match. But I mean, I personally thought there was a lot of errors with his stuff. But anyone, it don't matter. I'm here for it.
Yeah,
I'll argue all day.
Yeah, he's really good.
Not kidding. Definitely very talented for sure. All right. Well, that kind of wraps it up over here, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Andrew, love everything you're doing with Beyond Schmoedown. Being such an obvious, amazing badass when it comes to everything Star Wars and beyond. Lindsey, Larry, my faves, and the Action Generals. I love you guys. Can't wait to see you guys soon. Hopefully soon with everything going on right now. For sure. We need a little brightness in our lives right now. So I'm glad to share this with you guys today. But I am Alex Mac, part of the Call to Action crew. So definitely like and subscribe to this video and everything else we definitely try. We're also available in podcast form anywhere podcasts are found, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. And check us out in all the social medias, Instagram, Twitters, the tweeters and the twits. I run the Call Action podcast at Call Action Pod, so definitely follow us there because I like to be funny sometimes, even though it doesn't always go through, but the attempt is what matters. So definitely check us out. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
I'm glad you
Bye.
I'm glad you found